we're going to get into it. I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but Lucky Larry Silverstein, has bought the U.S. Bank Tower in Los Angeles, California. Lucky Larry. Now, for those of you that are uncultured and live under a rock and do not know who Larry Silverstein is, he is a real estate mogul who owned the Twin Towers in 2001. Now, is there anything wrong with that statement by itself? No. All right. Hey, you know what? The two buildings that you own when tits up happens all the time, I guess. But here is where it gets interesting with Larry. And again, some of you may not know this. The Twin Towers, rest in peace. In the year 2000, they were overdue for renovation because of asbestos. Asbestos was an infestation in both towers, and it was going to cost more than what each tower was worth to renovate the entire thing. Does that make sense? Oh, the building I own, in order to fix it up and get it back up to the new generation of code, it's going to cost more than what the building is worth. If only there was a way that we can just kind of get rid of this entirely. Doesn't end there, though. Doesn't end there before you guys start commenting, oh, another tinfoil conspiracy nut. Doesn't end there. 6 months before 9/11, before that fateful day happened, 6 months before that, Larry Silverstein took out an insurance claim on each tower so that if it were ever to, I think the words were collapse, he would get an insurance claim from each tower. Now let's fast forward to September 11th, 2001. We all know what that day is. Horrible day in American history. What a lot of people don't know, for those that live under a rock, that wasn't just 9/11. That was also the first day, the only day, in Larry Silverstein's long career that he missed work. He had never missed a day of work up until that point. But on September 11th, he coincidentally was not in his office. And again, coincidentally, it was these same buildings that were going to cost more than what they were worth to fix so that they were habitable for workers. Now, I am not going to say the obvious. You guys should be able to figure that out for now. I'm simply laying out the facts for you non-believers, for you anti-9/11 truthers. That is the fact of Larry Silverstein and what happened with the two buildings that he owned. Now, fast forward to 2026. Lucky Larry Silverstein Real Estate, they just bought U.S. Bank Tower, I believe one of the tallest buildings in Los Angeles. Probably nothing, though. Probably nothing. Per usual, I am probably overreacting. In fact, you anti-conspiracy people, you're probably right. You are probably right. Nothing is going on Everything is fine. It's all good. It's all good, right? A couple weeks ago, the city of LA gets notified, gets put on alert of a potential terrorist attack on the city. Also during that time, Larry Silverstein's company buys the tallest building in LA. Again, these are just facts. Probably nothing. Probably no correlation. Does this make me anti-Semitic? I wouldn't say. But this is simply what has happened in the city of LA the past couple of weeks. Again, probably not. So yeah, it's a beautiful day to not be in LA, people. That might be a bumper sticker or something. Give it 20 years post whatever horrific event happens, and that'll be a comedic punchline. It's a beautiful day to not be in LA. Oh man, I saw that dude, and I don't know. I wasn't even shocked. I wasn't even shocked. They're not even hiding it from you anymore. I've said this before. They're not even hiding it from you anymore. That's how they don't care. They have zero respect for who you are, for your intelligence, which, hey, some would say rightfully so, right? Should the average American intelligence as a whole, should that be respected at all? Whenever you think of the average American intelligence level, do you immediately jump to, hey, that's something that should be respected? Is that something you jump? Because it's not for me. So you really start to wonder, I kind of get it now. I kind of get why the powers that be, whoever the hell they are, whoever the CIA, NSA, FBI, whoever the hell it may be, the fucking skull and bones, Illuminati, I don't give a shit. The powers that be, they do not respect you enough to even try to cover it up. But again, why should they? Why should they? Because even if there are people like myself who are not intelligent, who just semi pay attention. It's all you got to do, just semi pay attention, and all the red flags will start popping up. But does it matter? No, because you come on a podcast and everyone writes you off and they'll say, you're crazy and you're a schizophrenic. And then in 10 years, whenever things, come to light that everything turned out to be true, you'll just still be there on your podcast that's been shadow banned to hell, screaming that you were right about everything. That is what happens whenever you semi pay attention. You end up screaming into the void, getting labeled a schizophrenic because you are simply pointing out the obvious. And whenever you get into that point, and whenever you get into that type of scenario, whenever you realize that is how life works, you immediately start being like, well, you know what? Maybe ignorance really is bliss. Maybe ignorance truly is bliss, to just ignore all of the bullshit and tune it all out. Maybe that is the true key to happiness. I dated a girl. Let me tell you something. I dated a girl. God bless her soul. Not really. Fuck her. She with the devil. I dated a girl who did not believe 9/11 had anything sketchy going on. She truly believed the official government narrative of what happened on 9/11. That, and whenever you would try to even talk to her about it, she would immediately shut you out and make it seem like you are like you're the asshole for asking questions. I'd be like, don't you think it's kind of weird though that like, like building 7, how that kind of collapsed, and she would be like, hey, you know what? I think you're being really disrespectful right now to the people that passed away. And I'm like, I think you're being disrespectful by not asking questions, for not like at least trying to get a grasp or a solid understanding, or at least reading the documents that came out and not just taking the media narrative. Because if you read the actual documents, again, you don't even have to read them in depth. You just kind of got to skim them and you'll know, oh, this is all full of shit. This all doesn't add up. That's all you got to do. I feel like it's more disrespectful to not ask those type of questions. Now, I'm not saying to go full Alex Jones and fucking, go to the victims' houses and threaten their lives and shit, but simply get an understanding of what happened, of the reality of the situation. That is all I am simply asking. But again, if you do this, you're labeled basically a terrorist per se. But yeah, that is this whole thing, man. This whole thing is, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all out in front of us. I hope it really doesn't happen, to be quite honest, because, yes, I hate the Dodgers. Yes, the city of LA is evil, but it is a beautiful city. I love that city. And to be quite honest, just the whole city entirely has kind of been through hell and back the past couple of years. So, you throw something like this in and it's, who knows? Truly, who knows?